Hey everyone. You know that feeling when you're looking around your house and seeing all those little repairs that need to be
Oh,
done?
yeah.
Like the leaky faucet that's been driving you crazy or that drafty window.
Definitely.
It can feel pretty overwhelming, honestly, especially when you're trying to keep up with all the other costs of, well, life,
Especially these days.
right? And it's not just about the little things.
Mm.
Sometimes it's those big repairs, the roof, the foundation, the things that can really hit your wallet hard.
Oh, yeah. Those can be scary for sure.
Exactly. And that's where we're doing this deep dive today.
It's definitely a good topic.
We're going to talk about all those resources that are out there to help Alabama homeowners tackle those repairs without breaking the bank.
So we're talking financial assistance,
Yeah,
grants, loans, that sort of thing.
you got it. We've got this amazing resource from My Financial Programs. It's called 94 Plus Alabama Home Improvement Grants and Repair Programs 2025. And let me tell you, it is packed with information.
Wow, 94 plus ban. That's a lot.
Right. It's incredible. And you know what? One of the things that really stood out to me was this statistic. 44% of Alabama homeowners can't even afford the repairs they need.
Seriously, that many.
Yeah. And a whopping 63% are putting off repairs because of money worries.
That's a lot of people facing the same challenges.
It is. It is. But, in a way, it's kind of comforting to know you're not alone in this, right?
Oh, absolutely. Knowing there are others out there dealing with the same issues can make it feel a little less overwhelming.
Totally. And it also underscores how important these assistance programs are.
For sure, they can be a real lifeline.
So let's dive in. I mean, where do we even begin? There must be a million different programs out there, right?
Well, there are a lot, but it's not as complicated as it might seem at first.
Okay, good.
Think of it this way. Financial assistance for home repairs in Alabama mainly comes from five main sources: federal programs, state programs, community organizations, county and city programs, and then resources for rural areas.
Okay, so it's like a multi-layered approach.
Exactly. You've got help available at all those different levels.
So when you say federal programs, you're talking about things like HUD.
Exactly. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, is a big player in this.
Okay, but if HUD is a federal agency, how does that money actually get to homeowners here in Alabama?
Good question. It basically trickles down. HUD gives the money to the state and local agencies, and they distribute it from there.
Okay, so it sounds like counties and cities are really the key players here.
They often are. Yeah, they're usually the ones who work directly with homeowners.
Got it.
But don't forget those community organizations.
Oh, yeah, like Habitat for Humanity.
Yes, Habitat for Humanity, NeighborWorks, Rebuilding Together, those groups are doing some amazing work.
It's awesome how many organizations are dedicated to helping people with their homes.
Absolutely. It's really inspiring.
Okay, so we've covered federal, state, local, and community organizations. What about those folks in rural areas? Are there any resources specifically for them?
You bet. The USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they have programs specifically for rural homeowners.
USDA. I always think of farming when I hear USDA.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but their rural development programs can help with a wide range of housing issues, not just for farmers.
Okay, so no matter where you live in Alabama, there's probably some kind of program that can help.
Most likely, yes. The key is to do your research and see what's available in your area.
Okay, this is starting to sound a little less overwhelming now.
Good, good. That's what we want.
But I have to ask, so do I need to find like a different program for every single little repair I need to do?
Uh-huh. That's a common misconception.
So there isn't a leaky faucet program and a cracked window program?
No, not exactly. Most programs will cover a range of repairs.
Oh, okay. Phew. So instead of trying to find a program for each specific problem,
Hmm.
I should just look at all my options and see which program fits best.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Good, good.
So let's talk about some of the common problems homeowners face.
All right. Like what?
Well, what about windows, for example? Replacing windows can be incredibly expensive.
Oh, yeah, especially if you need to do the whole house.
Right. So are there programs that can help with that?
There are, definitely. HUD has some programs, USDA does too, for rural homeowners, and then there are state initiatives and, of course, those community organizations we were talking about.
That's great. And what about roofs? Those can be a major expense as well.
For sure. Replacing a roof is no joke financially, but again, there are programs out there to help.
Okay, so it sounds like income and location are big factors in determining eligibility for these programs.
You got it. And it's not just windows and roofs either. Think about things like Foundations, electrical systems, and plumbing, those can be real budget busters if something goes wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But thankfully, there are programs designed to help with those as well. And a lot of these programs, they really prioritize repairs that directly impact health and safety.
That makes sense. So things like removing lead paint or making a home accessible for someone with a disability.
Exactly. Those are the kinds of things that can make a big difference in a person's quality of life and safety.
It's great that these programs are taking those things into account.
Yeah, they're really trying to help create safe and healthy living environments for everyone.
So let's talk about eligibility.
Okay.
I think a lot of people listening are probably wondering if they even qualify for any of this.
Yeah, I bet.
It's easy to assume that these programs are just for people in very specific situations.
It is, yeah, but you shouldn't assume.
So what are we talking about here? Who's typically eligible for these kinds of programs?
Well, most homeowners are generally eligible, but some groups get priority because there's limited funding and high need.
That makes sense.
So we're talking about seniors, veterans, people with disabilities, and those with lower incomes.
Okay, so even if you don't fall into one of those categories, it's still worth checking your eligibility, right?
Absolutely. You never know until you ask.
So the message is don't assume you don't qualify, do your research, and apply early.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And, speaking of research, I found something really encouraging in our source material. Alabama received over $8.5 million in funding for various home repair programs just last fiscal year.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. It shows a real commitment to supporting homeowners in Alabama.
Definitely.
And remember that weatherization assistance program we were talking about?
Yeah.
Well, the average spending per home through that program is over $6,000.
Seriously.
That's incredible.
That's a serious investment in making homes more energy efficient and comfortable.
That can make a huge difference for people.
And a lot of these programs are actually administered at the county and city level, so don't forget to check with your local agencies.
That's a great point. You might be surprised at what's available right in your own backyard.
Exactly. So far, this deep dive has been so insightful. I feel like we've just scratched the surface, though.
We have, but we've laid a good foundation. So what stood out to you the most so far? Honestly, just the sheer number of programs available is pretty impressive. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by home repairs, especially when you're worried about the cost.
I hear that.
But knowing that there's this whole network of support out there is really reassuring.
That's what we want people to take away from this. You're not alone in this. There is help available.
Absolutely. Well, are you ready to dive a little deeper?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's explore some of the specific programs highlighted in our source material.
Sounds good. It's amazing how this My Financial Programs resource has something for like every kind of home improvement project.
I know, right?
They even break it down by income and location to help you figure out which programs might work for you.
It's like having a personalized roadmap.
Exactly. Like, let's say you're worried about your roof.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you live in a rural area, replacing a roof can be...
So expensive.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
But did you know there's help available? USDA programs, state initiatives, even some county or city options?
Really? Even for folks who aren't necessarily low income?
Yeah. They actually highlight programs for people who might not qualify as low income, but still can't swing a major repair like a new roof.
That's great. Because let's be real, a new roof is a huge expense for anyone.
It is, for sure.
So it's good to know there are options out there.
Absolutely. Always worth exploring.
Now, what about those situations where a repair is like really urgent? Maybe there's a health hazard or something.
That's where those programs that prioritize health and safety come in.
Oh, right.
They know that some repairs just can't wait, like lead paint removal or asbestos abatement.
Yeah, those are serious issues.
Especially for kids and older folks.
It's good to know that there are resources to handle those critical situations.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of older folks, I noticed that accessibility modifications are mentioned quite a bit in the source.
Oh, absolutely.
Like making homes safer and easier for seniors and people with disabilities to get around.
Exactly. Ramps, bathroom modifications, grab bars, things like that can make a huge difference in helping people stay in their homes comfortably and safely.
It's all about aging in place.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I love that these programs are taking that into consideration.
Yeah, it's really important.
And it's not just about physical safety either, right? A lot of these programs also help with energy efficiency improvements.
You got it. Things like insulation, weather stripping, HVAC upgrades, those can make a big difference in comfort and cost.
Especially with energy costs these days.
Oh, yeah.
Any savings help.
Exactly. It's a win-win. A healthier, safer, and more affordable home.
This deep dive is already making me feel so much better. It's great to know there's all this support out there.
It is, isn't it?
Yep.
You don't have to face these challenges alone.
Not at all.
It's all about finding the right resources for your situation.
Right, right. And speaking of resources, I was really struck by how much emphasis the source material puts on community organizations.
Oh, they're crucial.
They really seem to be the ones connecting people with the help they need.
Definitely, they're the ones working directly with homeowners.
They have that local knowledge.
Exactly. They know what's available and can guide people through the process.
It's like having a personal advocate.
That's a great way to put it.
Someone who understands your specific challenges and can point you in the right direction.
And that's what makes this whole system work. You have the government programs, the community initiatives, and everyone working together to make sure everyone has access to safe and affordable housing.
It's really inspiring to see.
It is.
But we can't forget the importance of taking that first step,
That's right.
reaching out and asking for help.
Exactly. Don't wait until a small problem becomes a major one.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Get in touch with those local organizations, check out websites like My Financial Programs, and just start asking questions.
You never know what's out there until you look.
That's the truth.
I love that message. Be proactive and take control of your home.
Absolutely. With all the information and resources available these days, you don't have to feel powerless.
That's right. You can create that safe, healthy, comfortable space for you and your family.
Couldn't agree more.
So we've talked about the big picture of these assistance programs.
Uh-huh.
Now I think it's time to zoom in on a few specific programs.
All right. Sounds good.
We've talked about the categories, but let's actually see what these programs entail. Get down to the nuts and bolts.
Let's do it.
Are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's get specific.
Okay, so let's get into some specifics. Remember that Weatherization Assistance Program, or WAP we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah. The one that helps with energy efficiency.
That's the one. It really stood out to me in the My Financial Programs resource. I mean, they said the average spending per home in Alabama through that program is over $6,000.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. It's not just like they're patching up one tiny hole. They're really looking at the whole house.
So what kind of work does WP actually cover?
Well, think about all those little things that can make your house drafty or less energy efficient.
Okay.
Air leaks, insulation, heating, and cooling systems. WE can help with all of that. They might even upgrade your old water heater if it's not very efficient.
So it's about making the whole house work better, not just fixing one problem.
Exactly. It's a really holistic approach. And that can translate to some serious savings on your energy bills.
Which is huge these days.
Oh, yeah, especially for people on a tight budget.
So who's eligible for WP?
It's mainly geared toward low-income households.
Okay.
Especially those with seniors, people with disabilities, or young children. The folks who are most likely to struggle with high energy costs.
That makes a lot of sense.
And remember, WP is managed at the local level, so you'll want to contact your local agency to find out about specific requirements.
And luckily, My Financial Programs actually has a list of those agencies on their website.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, they make it really easy to find the information you need.
Speaking of making things easy, did you check out the USDA Rural Development Program?
Oh yeah, that one's specifically for folks in rural areas, right?
Yep. It's a fantastic resource for people who might not be able to get a traditional loan for home repairs. They offer both loans and grants.
And I think I saw that they really focus on health and safety issues.
Absolutely. Things like leaky roofs, faulty plumbing, electrical problems.
Yeah.
The stuff that can really impact your well-being.
And the terms sound pretty amazing.
Right.
Loans can have interest rates as low as 1%, and you can take up to 20 years to repay them. Plus, they have grants of up to $10,000 for people who qualify.
It's incredible. It really shows a commitment to making sure everyone has a safe and affordable place to live no matter where they live.
I love that. It's so important to remember that everyone deserves a decent home.
Absolutely.
Well, this deep dive has been so eye-opening. I feel like I've learned so much about all the resources that are out there for Alabama homeowners.
I'm glad to hear that. I hope everyone listening feels empowered to take action now. You really don't have to go through this alone. There's help available.
Exactly. Do your research, reach out to those local agencies and organizations, and explore your options.
You got it.
And remember, even small steps can make a big difference.
That's right. Don't underestimate the power of just starting somewhere.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into Alabama's home improvement assistance programs. We hope you found it informative and encouraging.
We sure did.
And remember, a safe, healthy, and comfortable home is within reach. So take that first step today and start exploring those possibilities. Until next time, happy home improving.
Take care, everyone.